And we are live. Oh, we lost Stephanie.
We did.
Uh-oh. Well, welcome everybody to the Gathering Paracast.
Yeah.
My name is Heidi.
And I'm Stephanie. And we're just having a few little difficulties
A
tonight.
couple technical issues, but we'll get there. We're here, and we're happy to be around the metaphysical table with everybody that's with us except our guest.
Yeah.
She disappeared during the opening, but
yeah,
hopefully we'll get her back.
Yeah, hopefully she'll get back on. She's traveling and she's in Mexico, so maybe it has something to do with the connection.
It could
down there.
So we're just going to send awesome vibes that she is back with us, because it was working great before we went to the...
Oh, there she is.
Okay, good. Hi. I was like, where'd she go?
Wonderful to see y'all.
Yes. Stephanie Urbina Jones, our guest tonight. We're so happy to have you with us. Yay. Welcome.
Thank you for taking time out of your day.
Y'all don't know this, but Heidi is one of my favorite people and a big part of the way that I organize, and she helps guide my life in such a big way. So I'm so honored to be here.
Now her head is getting really big.
I'm honored. No, that's super sweet. Thank you. Thank you. We're just thrilled to have you on, and you have so many exciting things to talk about. So we want to get to it. But right before we do that, we're going to have you join us in pulling a card for the universe. So everybody that's watching or listening on the podcast later, this is a message from the universe for you. And I'll get to shuffling. We're using a deck this week called Goddess Power. I figured because you were on, Stephanie, it's going to be Goddess Power today.
Yes.
So here's the, I don't know if it's Goddess Power, and it's Colette Baron Reed, and it's an Oracle deck. And I just figured because you were on, that sounds like a good deck to use as Goddess Power. So
I like it.
So I shuffled before, but I'm going to shuffle now a little bit, and you just say stop whenever you want me to stop, and I'll pull the top card.
Okay. Stop.
Okay. Top card. Here it is. Ooh, here's a good one. It's Hecate. You can show the folks the photo.
In-between.
The in-between. A card looks like it's glowing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Oh my gosh.
She's sending her light to you all. So her empowerment message, I'll just read a couple of lines. You are standing in the liminal spaces between what was and what will be, who you have been and who you are becoming. The Greek goddess of crossroads and the in-between welcomes you to her domain and reminds you that neither place right now is your home.
Wow.
Well, we kind of are at the in-between spot in the circle in this year.
In a lot of places.
In a lot of places. So it really makes sense.
And there's more to it, but yeah, that's
perfect. I feel like so many of us we're in this liminal space between what was and what is, and it speaks to me for sure.
Yes, for sure.
Well, perfect.
Yeah.
So let's get to it.
Yeah, please.
Lovely goddess, Stephanie.
And big red glasses for y'all.
I love it.
I do
they
too.
Look fantastic.
I do too.
I've seen you on your videos wearing them lately, and it's just like such a good look.
You just can't help but like dress and step into them, because they're so big and so red.
Oh yeah. They're a presence that needs to be seen. So I love it. So you have so many things that you're doing right now. I would love for you to just talk about who you are, what do you do, and what's coming up in your world.
Well, thank you for asking. I feel like for real right now that we were born for these times. It could almost make me cry. It's so tender that the world is going through so many changes, and we're all personally going through so many changes. And I know, Heidi, when I met you, I was going through a giant, in our world, a death, a life that was dying out. And of course, at the time, I didn't have an understanding that, to let go and to surrender into that death, and that I would be reborn in a new way into more of who I was born to be. And so I did that process, kicking and fighting. I spent 15 years in talk therapy. I had a wonderful counselor. I was very aware of why I was wounded, and it made sense of why I was not well mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and why, even though I had these dreams in my heart that were so vivid, I could see them, feel them, I could not live them because I was, I came to understand that the beliefs and the filters that I had taken on as a child, and my big ones, I'm not lovable, I'm not wanted, and I'm not enough. That's what the filter that was living me. And so when I met you, I was really in the death process of my life could no longer work. My marriage had come to an end. I was replaying the long lost child in every way. And, I came into a crash and burn that actually was the Great Awakening, which often is. It's like, they tell us in our world, we learn like, well, imagine what happens if you're a caterpillar and you're hungry for life and all of a sudden you find yourself in a chrysalis. And what happens? We turn to mush. We turn to, surrendering into the unknown. And it was through that process that I reemerged. It was through healing somatically. I didn't understand when I was going through that talk therapy that it was all the trauma that I carried in my body from my childhood and my lineage, 7 generations back. I was carrying those stories and living them until I found these healing ways and got into these somatic experiences that helped me to honor the love that was coming for me and to feel it, to heal it, and to transform it. And in that transformation, kind of like that metamorphosis that happens with the butterfly, I literally turned into that monarch butterfly, and I mean that with the most humble gratitude, humility. It makes me want to cry because it's like the promise of the great mystery of spirit, of God, of whatever your understanding is that we are never alone. We're always being called to love. We're always being called, even through the pain, to be reborn to something, to who we're born to be. And so from that experience over and over again, I came alive. And the dreams that I was dreaming when I was 4 years old started coming true. In my 50s, I made history bringing my culture, mariachis, to the Grand Ole Opry stage. And then toured the world. And then I became a teacher of these ways because, for me, the most profound teachers are those who can share from their experience, strength, and hope, and people can feel the difference and trust that, like, well, maybe I will give this a try. So my husband and I co-founded Freedom, Folk, and Soul, a healing arts community. And we lead journeys of transformation in all ways. We lead ministerial programs, teaching people how to show up and begin to minister to the moment in the grocery store with someone, wherever, because we are all, we're all on this planet to help midwife love, at this time. And this past year, I had the great honor of co-leading and co-authoring the 3rd book in our series, Shaman Heart. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And Heidi has it right there. It's awesome. This is a book. It's the 3rd book in our series. And we led an author's journey with 26 authors and Jorge Luis Delgado. And Heidi was one of the authors. We asked people that were literally powerful leaders in this world and who'd been doing their sacred work and really had an understanding that, y'all, it's not them. We got enough of them. We've got the Ram Dasses, we have the Marianne Williamsons, and they're doing their job, but it's us. We are the ones we've been waiting for, to show up and lead with our humility, with our heart, and to walk each other home. And so the book came out March the 6th, It went #1 in 6 categories in Amazon. And now we are traveling the country, bringing this living narrative to people to experience, to remember, because again, it's in the body. We're standing in front of people, which we're coming to Minneapolis. We're so excited. We're going to do a weekend at the end of May with Heidi, and we're going to invite people to step into who they were born to be. You can do this. We can do this, right? This is the time I believe we were planted, seated to be here on the planet. And as Heidi tells me, girl, we are the transition team.
That's right. We are.
So that's a little bit of what I do.
Yes, you are a shaman and a journeyer and a musician, an artist, a dreamer, and I mean the list goes on. But it's really inspiring. I mean, for as long as I've known you, to just witness your journey, it's so magical, and everything that you do is about bringing healing to the world, and to just show people, just open your heart and trust and dream, and you'll do it. So it's just really fun to watch you do that in your own journey as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I often tell, as authors, we've learned that we have signature stories in our life. And one of my signature stories is that when my grandmother, I was a writer, a songwriter, and I was very happy because I was living in the shadow, I wasn't public. And on her deathbed, she called me to her bedside, and she was walking between the worlds. It was my first experience with the other side. And she was talking to my grandfather on the other side, and she was talking to me. And then right before she passed, she looked me in the eye and she says, Mija, which means little girl, you are going to be a mensajera. That means messenger. And, of course, she did say I would be making country music with Chili Peppers, which I am. But the biggest message, I think, was this messenger. Miguel Ruiz, the 4 agreements. We are messengers of love. That's what we are here to do everywhere and anywhere. And so thank you. And it helps to have, we have our team around us that helps guide me. And you're one of the main people in those moments of doubt.
Well, thank you. Like I said, it's an honor to witness your journey and watch the magic happen. And it's so you do, like you were saying, you do a lot of travel, whether it's through the healing work, through Freedom, Folk, and Soul, or it's through your music with the mariachis and your albums that you have. So, there you are at the Grand Ole Opry. Look at you singing. And there's your latest album. So you're busy.
I'm busy. It's so wild to see that picture. That one picture, I'm holding a Bible. Would you believe, again, in those moments of doubt, I was about to quit when I got a message from a guy on Facebook I'd never met. And he's like, are you Stephanie Urbina Jones? I'm like, that's me. And he said, I found this Bible in an antique store in San Antonio. And I think it was your great grandfather that crossed the border in 1907 with this Bible. Wow. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff, y'all. It's like, we are not alone. Right?
We are not alone. I know. That's
a fact.
Very cool.
Yeah. So you're actually down in Mexico right now, correct? Yeah. Working on some projects.
Yes.
And then you're coming back to the US to travel, and you're promoting the book and doing healing work all over the country coming up over the next couple of months.
We are. Today I'm in Mexico and getting ready. I leave on Tuesday. I head to Texas and do 3 shows, and then I fly back to Mexico on Easter and finish a project that I'm working on in Mexico City, and then I fly to Northern California. And we kick off the We Are the Ones We've Been Waiting For book launch, experiential book launch tour. And so we'll be in Northern California, April 25th, 26th, 27th. Then I got fly to Nashville, play the Grand Ole Opry and Honky Tonk Tuesdays. And then Jorge Luis Delgado, our co-lead author, Incan shaman, who is just one of the most, he's an elder, great teacher of our times. And he really illuminated and helps me to feel into, like he calls it this thing, and we write about this in the book, we are living in the Pachacuti. This is the Incan term that means we are in the sunrise. They have all of these prophecies, the eagle and the condor, that this would be the time of the sunrise, that we would be in the rebirth, in the awakening of humanity. And of course, it's not at all what I thought it would be. I thought it would be like butterflies and sun rays. We're still being reborn through some darkness, but so grateful for these teachers and these guides to help remind us that, we are that light and we can hold that consciousness. And we are collecting and gathering all around this world. Isn't it amazing how many people are waking up?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It's time.
It's time. And I think about it, just 20 years ago, nobody did yoga. Nobody did acupuncture. Nobody did chiropractors or much less breath work.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't none of that was as mainstream as it is today.
No. So we're going to be carrying that message out. We go from Northern California, then we go to Nashville. We have a book launch there. We go to New York. We go to Boston, and then we come to Minneapolis.
Yeah, that's a lot of travel between now and here.
I'm tired just hearing about this all.
People say that to me all the time, and I take days off. And, I really believe it. When you are living, like I suffered for so long until I was 40. I'm 57. When I was 40, I was still living debilitating depression. And that was, those beliefs that were stuck in my mind and body. And as I got free, I just had so much energy. I'm like, I'm so alive. And I know, anything can happen. After COVID, anything can happen.
Yep.
You got to live.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah. It's just, it's so cool to watch your magic as you're moving around and going into, just these deep dives into this, these weekend portals or wherever you are that you're doing it. It's so cool to just see people, trusting that process.
So what do you do? So like you mentioned, you're having a retreat here in Minneapolis at the end of May. What happens at these retreats? Is it a 3-day retreat or a 2-day retreat? I don't remember.
So it's like 2.5 because it starts Friday evening.
Okay.
And goes till Sunday late.
And do you all stay in the same place or is it just, no, it's like days you go there in the morning and
yeah, you come here and then you leave. But Stephanie, tell everybody what we're going to be doing for the weekend.
So one of the things we're going to do is on Thursday night, we're going to invite people to come to a book, launch that we'll be doing a reading. Each of the authors, Heidi and Jeremy, my husband and co-founder of Freedom, Folk and Soul, we will all share from the chapters, talk about the book. So people can, again, it's kind of like seeding their hearts for this beginning to really step into and remember that, wow, I am here on purpose, on time. What is mine to do, right? And so I think everybody will be excited and inspired. And then on Friday, we have our opening circle at Heidi's beautiful retreat place there. And we will be gathering. One of the most important things for us is creating safety. And so we'll have a circle of probably up to 20, 25 people, and we will go on a journey over the weekend. And we will all, pledge our confidentiality, and we will start sharing on that first night. It will be intimate and fun. You know, what's most fun is when we start to get vulnerable and you're like, oh, me too. You felt that? All of a sudden, all those stories that we have about ourselves, you felt like you're not enough? Yes, all the time. You know, it just kind of opens it up. And then on Saturday, we're going to have some experiences that I'm not going to give up with you, because we're going to be mixing our magic and our medicine with Heidi's and what she does. We're going to be calling in our ancestors to help walk with us. We're going to be doing breath work to the most amazing set I've ever created, because I think it was called in from the ancestors. And people are going to begin to breathe through, what are those ideas that have kept me safe, yet also kept me from stepping into my sacred longing. Our hearts know the way. Who were you born to be? What is yours to do? What do you really want before you die? You know, what's important to you and what's in the way? And so we'll be doing breath work. We're going to do a cacao ceremony, bringing in that medicine. And so I'm not going to tell you about the rest, but we use all these experiential ceremonies, initiations to move you consciously into and through these beliefs and stories that are locking you up and keeping you from living your power, your love, your dreams, and who you're born to be. So, and by the end of it, for real, always, people are like, you know, they're crying because they're so happy. Like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that when my mom said that to me when I was 4, or this situation, I can't believe that created a filter for the rest of my life. No wonder no wonder I can't meet someone. No wonder I keep attracting this in my life. No wonder and we begin to shift and we begin to live our dreams. You know, all I know is that's my experience. It works.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. 100%. You look skeptical.
Well,
I
okay.
feel like am I
Okay. Well,
excited? Am I a little too excited
No.
here?
I don't think so.
I think it's exciting. I just feel bad for all these people who had parents that did things like this. I mean, my parents never, ever said anything like that to me. I have never felt that way in my entire life.
Well, and it doesn't necessarily come from parents.
And
it can come from relationships. It can come from society. It can come from whatever.
Exactly. Right. Did you believe, you know, all the things that women were taught about our value or our worthiness or what we could do? I mean, God bless my dad, who I love. He's my person now. But I'll never forget when I left for Nashville at 19, he said, Mija, it's a man's world. And that lived me for a long time. And I'm so grateful these days we have those conversations, and things have changed. But for sure, we all have agreements. That's what we call in the Toltec world, and beliefs in our life. And I just ask, like, are you happy? Are you living your love? And the other thing I want to say is that at this point now, those sacred wounds that hurt me, tortured me, are now my medicine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't have a mother that wanted me, and I lived with that longing my whole life. It was tragic. It was heartbreaking. But you know what? Now that it's healed, I'm a mother of a tribe. I'm a mother of myself, and I make magic. So that hurt me is now my power.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Very good.
Yeah. The wounded healer.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So
I feel like I'm too much.
no, I'm just like, yep, I'm right there with you. I'm laughing it with you. It's perfect. So, and so you're going to be doing some music, you said, in between the healing weekends and the book tour. You're going to be doing some performances as well.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So after we do Minneapolis with you, we're home for a week, and then we fly to the pyramids of Teotihuacan in Mexico, where we lead our foundational program, the Toltec Medicine Wheel of Transformation. And It's so powerful. And then from there, I fly to Santa Fe and do a show. And then I fly to Minneapolis on June the 21st to do a show.
The
You know,
solstice.
oh my gosh, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's what I've been telling people, because we're trying to help find a venue for it, right? And so I've been telling everybody, I'm like, this is a midsummer celebration of
Oh my
music and healing. Like, we've got to find an awesome place for this. So yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That's amazing. I didn't even realize that. How perfect. How
Yeah.
perfect. How
So I'm very
absolutely
excited.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm definitely mixing it up.
Yeah.
And I'll probably need a nap in there.
Yes.
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 A few naps, maybe.
Several.
Yeah. So if people want to find you, where can they best find all the things that you're doing?
So our book and the book series, which, we, Shaman Heart, we are the ones we've been waiting for. You can go to shamanheart.org. It's right there. And there you can actually click on to the third book, Shaman Heart. We are the ones who've been waiting for, and you can actually meet all the authors, all these leaders in the healing arts, and check out their websites. You can also see their interviews that they did with our publisher, Brave Healer Productions, where they talk about their story. Highly recommend you get the book. It's not out on Audible yet, but it will be. But you can order a paperback for $1.99 right now. And it's kind of like, in the recovery world, and I love this, there's 26 stories. So you won't necessarily relate to all of them, but you'll relate to some of them. I love Heidi's story. And that just, again, is an invitation for us to kind of remember and to wake up. Oh yeah, me too. You can also go to our website, StephanieUrbinaJones.com. Right there, that's all the music things. And I don't even have our concert yet up in Minneapolis, but I will by Monday. But you can keep checking in there for the shows that I have coming up. And then our nonprofit has everything on it, freedomfolkandsoul.org. And there you can see all of the journeys that we are leading. And this year we're going to, besides the book launch tour, which ours in Minneapolis is on there, you can get your ticket, you can secure your spot there in Boston, in New York, in Northern California. You can also, join us online for the Toltec Medicine Wheel of Transformation, our online journey starting April 22nd. And then we're leading journeys in Mexico in June, a 2-week journey to Peru in August, and then we're leading a journey to Greece in late October. So that's it. That's all we're doing this year.
Not much.
No big deal.
Gee, come on. I think you could squeeze a few more things in there.
I'm sure we will.
And while you're traveling around to all of Stephanie and Jeremy's events, you can listen to her music. She has multiple albums out. I have all of them. Some of them I actually have the CDs as well, but I have downloaded most of them, I think, on my Apple Music account. But I actually have a lot of the CDs from back in the day.
I love that. I will say I'm curious to know, Heidi, when I first made I'm a country singer, a Mexican-American Latin country singer. My passion was to celebrate my Mexican roots in country music. So it's like cornbread and enchiladas, And so when I was encouraged, I always write these like little spirit songs. And someone actually said they would pay for me to do a transformational album. And so I did. And at the time, my dad said, you should name it Born to Love, because that was the first track on it. And I think I did a session with you, Heidi, because I ended up naming the album Shaman Heart. And it was because I'm like, I'm a country singer. People are going to really reject. I was afraid to be rejected from, the people I loved and that loved me, that they were going to think that, I was doing something that they didn't trust or didn't believe in. But I knew that of these experiences that I had that were beyond this world, that I had to challenge myself and come out of the shaman closet, you know, and so I named it Shaman Heart, and then we created, the Shaman Heart series. I have my Shaman Heart medicine cards, and so I'm curious. I'm always like, Ruthie Souther, who's one of my dear friends, and in the healing world, her favorite album is Fiery Angel. And other people's at Shaman Heart. But I'm just grateful that you're listening and enjoying it. And I love to sing.
And I love that you just wrote a new song a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Just like downloaded, and she starts singing it on social media. She did a video, and I'm like, I could hear the music in the background when she was singing, even though there's no music, but I could hear the song already. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be magical. It's awesome. And it's just so cool how this stuff just drops in and you're getting it and doing it. So it's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That was fun. I'm going to start doing more of that. When people ask me, I'm going to be like, yep, I don't have my guitar. I don't have any piano. I'm just going to sing it for you because we can hear the music.
Yep. You could totally hear it. It was just coming through. Yeah. Cool.
Well, if you want me to sing a song, I'm happy to.
Right now? You want to sing a song now?
I can sing us. I can. I don't need to, but I'm.
Well, we could end with it. Yep.
Yeah. Let's do a song. Song to end the show. How about that?
Yeah.
I would love it. I'm thinking Chiseling Out My Soul. What do you think?
Sounds like a good one. That's from Shaman Heart.
Yeah. So I was 26 and I had a therapist, and he was amazing. He was the person I told you all about. He was very kind. And I'll never forget, one of those times that I felt really hopeless for many years. I mean, I started at 26 and it wasn't until 40 that I finally started breaking through, right? But he just said, Stephanie, you just got to keep chiseling out your soul. And he was a sculptor himself. And would you believe that year I went to Italy and I turned the corner and I not only saw Michelangelo in Florence, I felt the spirit in the stone. And that's where this song comes from. Once knew a wise old man, Maximilian was his name. He was an artist of life, a sculptor by trade. I used to sit and watch him work. I'd ask him questions, try to learn about the magic that he made. But he'd just smile and say, I'm chiseling out my soul like a Michelangelo. He found spirit in the stone. I'm chiseling out my soul. Well, I used to go and visit him maybe once or twice a week. I drank in every moment. I was thirsty for his kind of peace. He said, let love be your discipline, girl, carve out your experience. Be authentic and be real. That's how my peace was revealed, by chiseling out my soul like a Michelangelo. He found spirit in the stone. I'm chiseling out my soul. Like a precious piece of treasured art, I'm not for sale. I've worked too hard to find out who I am. And at my age, I don't give a damn. I'm chiseling out my soul like a Michelangelo. He found spirit in the stone. I'm chiseling out my soul. Now there's a little mariachi solo here. Can y'all hear it? Ba, ba,
Totally.
ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Well, my friend Max, he died a few years back, but I think about him every day. You see, his words of wisdom, they've got my heart when I got a tough choice to make. He said, everyone's got an artist's eye. We are painting pictures with our lives. Everything you say and do is a framed canvas of your own truth. So I'm chiseling out my soul like a Michelangelo. He found spirit in the stone. I'm chiseling, chiseling, chiseling out my soul. Bum.
That was awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
wow. That's such a,
Yeah.
that's so cool. Thank you for doing that.
Yes.
And thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Heidi.
has
I
been-
love you so much. I'm so
I love you
grateful
too.
for you in my life.
Oh, this is great. And I cannot wait to see you next month.
Me too. And Stephanie, it's so nice to meet you, Steph.
Yeah. Nice to meet you too.
I hope I see you in person too.
Yes. Yes. You guys have to meet.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right.
Okay,
Well, that's
wow.
our show.
Thank you for joining us, taking
Yes.
time out of your, whirlwind schedule.
You're so welcome. And anybody, probably the best place you can reach me for everything that we're doing, shamanheart.org and also freedomfolkandsoul.org. Check out all the things that we've got coming up,
Okay.
including getting your ticket to come and see Heidi in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to
Awesome.
make magic happen.
Yeah,
For sure.
we are.
For sure.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody who watched
Thank you
tonight.
all
Thank
so
you
much.
thank you to the troops if you're watching. Please be safe. The world's a crazy place right now.
Yep. And everybody in the chat room, everybody listening that's listening to the podcast afterwards, thank you so much for tuning in. And Jason Trost, our producer, thank you so much
Fabulous.
for
and Cryptovania.
just and Cryptovania TV for knocking this out of the park again. We just love being with you guys. And we look forward to seeing you all next week. Now you have to tune in because we're going to be on location.
We are going to be on location.
And we're not going to say where quite yet. So you have to tune in because it's going to be cool.
Yep.
So we'll see you all next week.
Good night, everybody. Thank you, Stephanie.
Good night.
Thank
See you,
y'all
Steph.
so much.